Welcome to episode 78 of the Creative Train podcast. This is a very unexpected episode for me to make. I had no intention of doing this. Usually I plan a few episodes in advance based on things that happen in my life as an artist. This came out of the blue the other day, and I'm going to do this episode completely off the cuff. I have no notes, no script, nothing. Just a whole bunch of things I've been ruminating on for, I don't say 24 hours. It's 3:30 in the afternoon here on a overly hot July 31st. So I'm going to sort of let you know some observations and vent a little bit and rant a little bit. And I'm not going to pick on anyone really that badly. But, you know, if you're an artist, or especially somebody who works with words, you try to find ways to promote yourself online. And once I started doing the podcast, I got onto Substack because I thought it would be interesting to see, you know, if I uploaded the scripts for some of the podcast episodes that have done particularly well, that people might prefer to read them rather than listen to them. And I totally get that. As a podcaster myself, I don't listen to really much, if any, podcasts. There's a couple that I follow, but a lot of them aren't necessarily related to creativity and the arts. But when I got on Substack, as algorithms do, you input who you are, what you do, what you're going to be doing, and it starts to say, oh, check this out, you might like this, check that out, you might like that. And I did. And I haven't really contributed a whole lot. I don't even know what my handle is there. I'm just going to grab my phone. Yes, we're totally off the cuff today. I'm just going to grab my phone and let you know who I am on Substack. If you're into that kind of thing, if you're a reading type, just my name, Mark, 653214. That's Mark with a C, 653214. I didn't know that until now. So anyways, so I'm looking through these suggested people, pages, links, whatever you want to call them, on the Substack machine. And I liked a few of them because I looked at the description and I thought, yeah, I can get into that. And I wanted to associate myself with creatives and artists primarily. I don't like politics too much. I have very set ways of the way I like to approach my consumption of political information. I can clearly see the benefit on both sides of the political spectrum, so I'm not going to go on a political rant ever about anything. So one of these people that I follow, they always have a teaser script that is released. And following that, they have a narration that goes along with it. And like I said just a little while ago, being a reader rather than a listener of such information, I've always just read what they post. And I'm going to call them they. So I don't want to give this away. I don't want to pick on anybody by name, but I want to let you know something really strange that I saw the other day. So I've always read their materials, and they're a very, very fiery, passionate person. It's like, F this, F that. This is, screaming at the world about the lack of originality and how people don't understand them as an artist. And they've got over 100,000 followers or likers or whatever on here. So I figured, yeah, this person's got to have some going on, right? They offer courses on creativity, as I do, as well as a creativity coach, which is very different. They do public gallery displays and all the rest of that. I'm not sure if they do music or not, but I've never seen any reference to that. But the other day, so they have this transcript and I read it and I thought, yeah, I've had these thoughts on my mind as well. And they were very passionate in the lots of exclamation marks and lots of words in all caps. So I thought, I'm going to listen to it and see if the voice translates across into the way that it's being typed. You know, you can imagine the tone and the tenor and the delivery of such things when you see them. But when you hear them, I wanted to hear what they sound like. So I clicked the listen button, and it started off with some strange kind of like chimes or something like that. And I'm like, oh, okay, there's your intro music. I have intro music too. I couldn't quite hear it because it was really, really low in the mix. And then came the narration, and I was utterly, I don't even know how I can say it without using a lot of words that I don't want to have my podcast flagged for inappropriate content. But this person is an author, a writer, a painter, a actor as well. And what they had done was they had used an AI dictation thing to read their script. And if you're appealing to other artists, you're only going to appeal to what I will call the dumbest ones, the ones who don't care really about creativity, the people who toil away at something for a few hours on a Sunday morning. It's their hobby. It's not their lifestyle. And this person who's promoting themselves and berating the world for their lack of artistic trying used an AI to narrate their script. And I thought, okay, I'm overreacting. I'm going to go back and listen to the other ones and just make sure that I'm not being clickbaited or something, that I'm going to wait till the end of the narration and they're going to say, ha ha, I caught you. I wanted to see how you'd feel about this and whatever, if you'd notice it. But you can notice it. The delivery is so disingenuous. So it was after the first paragraph, basically, because I was reading along as it was reading. I had to turn it off, and I kind of held my breath like I did now. I was like, I have bad words to say. But did they use AI to write the script as well then? I mean, if you're going to go as far as having it narrate the script, did they have it write the script as well? And it's not like you need any super high-tech studio gear to record audio for your podcast. Every podcast app has a mobile function built into it. I use Podbean, and I can do this live through Podbean just by pushing a button. That's it. So the technology is not an impediment for this person. Reading their stuff to this point, I've liked it, but in wanting to hear if that passion came across in their voice, I'd have to say, nope, not even close. And I appreciate the fact that people use AI to expedite certain mundane things that they would do, parsing out information or researching very broad topics. But if you're someone that prides yourself and advertises themselves and has services for struggling artists themselves, you should follow through with that kind of attitude in all aspects of your presentation. That's like catfishing. You know what that means? I just found out what it means a while back. If you're not familiar with what it means, indulge me for 30 seconds or so here. It's like when people do online dating profiles, right? And then they have a highly photoshopped version of their profile pic so that you think you're getting this awesome guy or awesome gal, and then you meet them in person and it's like hauling up a catfish out of the river. They're pretty ugly if you haven't seen them. God bless the catfish, but you don't want to date one. So that's where the term catfishing comes from. So to me, by clicking that listen button, I felt like I had been catfished by this person. And it just screams, I'm disingenuous. And I don't know if other people get it, but I can't get past it. As an artist, would you want to go to a gallery to appreciate art, to consume visually or auditorially, or even go to a good restaurant and consume with your mouth and your senses? Would you want to go there and buy something or see something as the product offered to you that's just been repurposed, repackaged? You know, somebody went to the local grocery store, bought some, frozen dinners and brought them back to the restaurant, bougied them up a little bit, threw some chopped parsley on it and said, here you go, here's your Michelin star dish. Or would you want to go to a concert and just watch a screen of AI bots performing music? I know some people don't have a problem with it, and that's okay. I know some artists myself who say that using AI to do all these things saves them so much time in their day, and it's precious time that they get to in turn spend with their family. Now, if you're going to make a poster or something like that, you're going to invest, an hour on your computer? You've probably got templates set up. You're going to invest a little bit of time. You're going to make the poster. You're going to print it. You're going to take it to, Office Depot, Staples, whatever it is, run off a whole bunch and send them out around town. If you use AI, you're going to have to give it a prompt. You're going to have to upload photos, probably. You're going to have to prompt it again and again and again until you get your final product. So how much time would you have spent making an AI poster versus using one of your existing templates if you are that person who has always made your stuff until now? I have friends in graphic design who've lost 70% of their clientele. The bulk of this person's business, they come from a mid-sized town. I guess it's probably around 90,000 people. It's a pretty good sized town. They made flyers, banners, window posters that were printed into those big stick-on things you see on the windows. They made business cards, T-shirts, logos, all kinds of stuff. And that's dried up. They did the same kind of thing for real estate agents as well. That's dried up. And what are they left to do? This was their bread and butter. So what do? That's a really good question. And then there's the people who say, well, yeah, it saves me so much time. What else are you doing with your time? That's the question I have for my music students who say, oh, I didn't practice this week. And I say, oh, what did you do instead? And you're like, oh, I don't know. Yeah, scrolling TikTok or something, right? So if it's saving you time, put that time to use and do something useful. But if you're like this person that I first started talking about on Substack, putting yourself out there as some sort of like flagship that other artists should flock to, experienced artists, blossoming artists, or people that just want to read something really interesting about the inner workings of an artist's life. If that is the personality that you're putting out there, and you have to use AI to back you up, that's bad form. I was going to say something else, but I don't ever want to swear on the podcast. It's bad form, really bad form. I went through a bunch of their other recordings. They were all the same voice, the same breathless voice, the one that never pops the microphone by getting too close to it and saying something, right? No breaths, improperly or poorly pronounced words, staggered grammatical structure that leaves you kind of like confused and actually missing the point because you're trying to figure out what they said, not what they meant. You know what I mean? You've heard it. I know you have. Anyways, so this went on a little bit longer than I was expecting. And I'll thank you for listening. And I would really, really appreciate you commenting, letting me know here. Let's start a conversation. Let's actually talk about the issue of people who say they are one thing in public, and then when they think you're not looking, there's something else. And that's what this person is to me. I've unfollowed them. I didn't say anything. I'm not going to be that keyboard warrior that gets behind the safety of my computer and rants and raves. No, I have no connection to them whatsoever. I haven't mentioned their name. I haven't mentioned who they are, where they live, what their Substack is all about. It's just getting the idea out there. So if you've experienced anything like this, I'd like to know. Let me know what you think. We need to have conversations about these things. The arts industry in every aspect of it, from music to even all kinds of graphic design, it's getting gobbled up. People are now just fine with going to websites that are AI compiled news stories. You don't know what happens on the way from the actual story interpreted by the AI, because they always say AI can make mistakes. Yeah, I'm sure it does. So share it with somebody who you think might dig it, and let's have a conversation.